All right, we're live. Good morning, everybody. Tuesday morning, to be exact, on the 27th of July. Ready to kick off a lovely edition of the Huddle. I took a quick peek at the numbers, and they are looking sparkling good. So excited to see how we got there and where we go next. See, we got some energy checks in the chat. Got 9.2 from Jess, 8.1 from Felipe. If this is your first time, I would love for you to put your energy in the chat. 0 being very sluggish and unwilling to move or able to move, and 10 being ecstatic, bouncing off the walls, but you're containing yourself for the sake of the huddle. Excellent. Just a hair over 9. Thank you, Andrew. Rachel at an 8. Waking up, I'm icy, just like me. I'm sitting at, I was a 6.5 because I was on that 3-hour hold with the IRS, but I'm at a 9 because I bent them to my will and got my way, and my account's good. So I'm very happy about it. It's a harrowing process of something I never ever want to do ever again. But yes, it was good. Everything's great, and I am now full of energy despite having 3 hours of sleep. So we're good. Anyways, let me see. Just want to. Lisa just texted me her computer died. She'll be there in a minute, hence why I'm taking my time on this. I believe I had a... Heard that. All right, so I just want to talk my phone. They had a proxy, but I'll have to explain that in a minute. So proxies, do we have any proxies today? I know we had Neil is proxying for Jim. Do we have any others? Not seeing any. That is fine. We will get to. Lauren did text me about having a proxy for me, but as a facilitator, it's not. I'm not the biggest fan of being a proxy, and also not to be rude, but doubling that. I'm gonna check my email right now in case I missed an email. But doubling on that, Lauren gave me no details on any of those numbers, so I am about as useful of a proxy as somebody who's staring at a DOR board. So I will say the roadshow will not be in attendance today, and I apologize for that. Not much I can do about it. So, all right. So, that being said, yes, Jess, it was taxing. Oh no, you. Anyway, I needed that laugh. Thank you. Let's switch it over to this. Let's switch over to the DOR board, shall we? And let's party it up with Lisa. Hi, Lisa. How you? That dad joke was so impressive. Hi, Lisa. How you doing?
I'm good. Listening to you laugh, bringing me up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of slap happy right now, so anything will make me laugh like that. I zoomed it in just for you.
Awesome. Okay. Hello.
Yep.
Good morning.
Hi. Morning. We're going in order this time, by the way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's cool. Get back to usual. It's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, my goodness, I don't think I included the weddings in my forecast. We had 2, which is a lot of money, which is fantastic for us, which means really big numbers on the board, which is just great all around. So yay us. Actual of 204. Holy moly. That's definitely a record, I'm certain. Well, in these pandemic times, which again is fantastic. Kudos to everybody who worked those events. I know it's obviously been quite some time since we've been doing them. So we're just trying to get our feet underneath us and get back into the swing of things with a whole new staff and, very few people that have worked events in the past. So, and, there's a lot of learning there, a lot of new things to figure out and learn. So really congratulations to everybody. It sounds like things went well. Congratulations to some folks that worked in different businesses, just because we need folks to work and we didn't have quite enough. So we found some folks from different places to come work as the events as well, which was super, super helpful, I'm sure. Yeah, looking forward. Yeah, it's tough. Is Elaine or Bob, do you know? We don't have a wedding this weekend, right? Okay.
No.
All right. Okay, cool. But then we do the following, right?
Yeah, on the 7th.
Okay. Okay. On the 7th. Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's helpful for my forecasting purposes. And I will look at the forecast like I would do anyway. Again, it's just so hard. Like, folks are coming out for sure. They want to dine. They want to patronize us. We're having, some staffing issues. So we have some limitations there. And it's just, curious to see what Dinan's going to do compared to, or kind of what Roadshow and To Go is going to be like going forward. We know we've definitely seen a dip here. And so we're going to day by day, guys, right? We're still going day by day. Anyway, congratulations to you all. Very nice numbers. Let's keep it up.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Super excited to see the numbers that high. Excited to see where we go next with all the catering stuff mixed in with all the other stuff we keep doing. Ari has a question.
Just a super simple thing, and it's a very good problem. And congrats and a deep appreciation to everybody on those numbers. I know it's stretching everybody and a ton of work. I was just, when we do ring in the catering stuff on toast, Zach, it's hard to tell what we actually did for the day for me, but there might be an easy way that I'm not clued in enough to know.
You got to dig in.
It's certainly not a crisis, but
yeah, you have to dig into it. In the total sales, if you're on the right side, it'll say like it'll tell you what it is. It's not like in the sales category you have to like dig into like dine-in sales, for instance. I think it was like last Friday, dine-in sales were like 40, like some ridiculous number. But then if you saw it broken down within dine-in, you go, oh, so there's an off-site and there's an on-site of catering. So like that's
okay. So what's the key word I look for? Or can you let us know later? I don't need to know.
I can let you know. How about when I get to the next line of somebody talking as they're talking, I'll pull
zero rush. No,
yeah,
I figured as much. Really know until next Saturday.
Funny enough, our accountant on duty today, Neil, might have an answer that maybe I don't even have. Neil?
When you look at the sales summary export reports, typically all the catering, others, or bakehouse stuff, those are rung in as others.
Oh, okay.
So if you back out the others, then that can give you a true sense of what the in-restaurant or roadshow and what to-go sales are.
Got it. So super simple thing, but if the front of the house folks, if you remember, maybe we could just make a note of that when we put the day's sales in, like restaurant X, events Y.
Yeah, that's a good idea, honestly.
Yeah, I'll have to I'm sure, like you said, it's super simple, but I'll have to get a rundown.
Yeah, certainly not our number one issue, just bringing it up. Thank you.
I feel like we can create a button that makes it so we can have its own revenue center that whenever you do a catering event, you click a button and you put the amount in. I'm sure we could do something like that to make this a much easier process. I can look into that because, I did that with the Roadhouse Park stuff and it was really easy. So anyways, that's another topic for another time. Now that we know that, there are the roadshow numbers. I am Lawrence Proxy. All I have is that 62,154. So we're up, 5,000? Yeah, we're up a little over 5.5 grand from last week. That's really good. I guess I do know a slight story knowing the reason why we didn't hit 65 is with dine-in being as busy as it is, we often hit around an hour and a half ticket times right around 6:37, and that's usually for the rest of the night. So any business that we are used to having past that is not really happening outside the park. And I think there was a couple rainy days that just didn't allow that to happen last week. So I guess maybe I do have a story about how the numbers look at me go. And it seems that was why we dipped below a little bit on that. But yeah, that's all I got. Sharon may have a little more stories because she's there all the time too. Sharon, do you want to just text? You don't want to chat? I'll take that. Silence is a yes. All right. Yeah, the mornings are really quiet with the construction on corner. Yeah, the construction on Jackson and Stadium is definitely not helping any of this either. So, yep. So, that's all we got. I would say I'll take any questions, but I probably can't answer more than what I just gave. So we'll move on. If you have any questions, Lauren is in the roadshow currently, and maybe you can email him. Let's bounce it to beverage and bar sales with Kim. How we going over there, Kim?
Bueno. We're doing all right. Let's see. I was just looking at the individual things. I didn't get a total of sales here, but
I got a DOR board.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm. I don't know who put the number in, but it's there.
Look at that. So 17,893 is awesome. That's getting back up to what we were pre-pandemic. We were usually having around 1920 in the before times. So with being down as many tables as we're down and a room, that's pretty freaking awesome. Some really big sellers at Trace Pinas, thank you, Felipe, has been doing phenomenally. I think I saw 3,000 of them go out last night. But people are really enjoying that, and the peach daiquiri. I don't have a whole lot in the way of news. The Sangiovese, the Love You Bunches, is on order, so it should be back this week. I don't know her delivery day because she's a new distributor. But that's on its way back in. Root beer will be back today. They accidentally delivered us 2 pony kegs instead of full half barrels, so we ran really quickly through that. And I think that's just about it. I have elephant juice. We had this like 2 years ago. It was a really, really awesome NEPA. But 2 of the reps came in last night for dinner, and so we were chatting, and they said they could drop off a couple kegs today, so we'll have that spot filled as well. And even more exciting, I've been working with Mothfire, our new favorite brewery, and they are working on a Roadhouse Joe Vanilla Bean Stout that is aged in bourbon barrels and should be ready this week or early next week. So we have 2 half barrels of that coming using our own Roadhouse Joe. It's going to be on draft for a little bit, and it sounds like it's going to be delicious. And inventory next week. So yay. It's like Gary has a question.
Awesome, Kimmy, and it was wonderful to see you last night too. Wow, Zach, did you lower my hand, or did I do that? Nice job.
Oh, I did. I'm on top of it.
That's awesome, man. Very impressive. Couple
Thanks.
quick questions. How did it go with Joel's sister when you met?
Joel's sister.
Jill Filecki.
Jill's sister. When did I meet Jill's sister? What's happening?
Well,
Felipe
maybe
met
it was
with
just
her.
Felipe. Okay.
Yeah, Felipe met with her. Remember for the wine?
Oh, last Friday?
Yeah,
Felipe does have his hand up to respond.
That would be a
People are
Felipe
willing.
question, and he's
I'll let-
ready.
All right, go right ahead, Felipe.
It went really well with Jill. I actually just received the pricing sheet from Woodbury Wines, which is her distributor in the area, and I have a couple of ideas for Kim. So thank you for the segue, Ari. I was going to mention that. It was really exciting. Her wines are fabulous. So I'm really intrigued to see what we can do along those lines of having a little representation from her, from Ketchum Estates.
That's awesome. I mean, it fits a lot of things. Woman winemaker, woman-owned winery, and also part of our extended ZCOB ecosystem family.
Yeah,
So,
I really like the
awesome.
local connection.
Okay, awesome. And then you guys, what percentage of our wine list are we up to now? Just curious.
Kim?
75%-ish.
Okay, well, that's about what we're seeding, so that's good.
Until we can start getting a little bit more education going on and refreshers and maybe back to full tastings. I don't really want to put some of the more unique wines like the Gamay isn't doing so well right now, which it used to do pretty well, but I think once we get that knowledge back out there so the servers can sell it, I just don't want to be dumping stuff.
Yeah, no, you're good. 75 is about where we're at. Thank you. Awesome work.
And I do have some more ideas coming down the pipe about additions. So Kim, I've got some stuff for you. Probably this week or early next.
Let's try and meet on Monday if you can.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you all. Any burning questions for Kim before we bounce it over to Elaine?
Hey, Bob.
Oh. Kim? That? Okay, I'm gonna trust Kim didn't mean to say hey Bob and then mute. So I'm going to now.
Bob Rinelli is who I was talking to, sorry.
Oh, of course, yeah. that's the one other person who was also named somebody here. It's funny. All right, let's bounce it over to catering with Elaine then. Hello, Elaine.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I was still muted. Hope everyone's doing well. As Lisa said, we did have 2 weddings this weekend, so I'm sorry. I am trying to get with Jim about forecasting my numbers and stuff, and then with last weekend having the 2 weddings, I really just was behind putting numbers on the board, so sorry there are no numbers up there for this week. I do have some, though. We had 2 in-house events last Thursday and then 2 weddings this weekend. So between those events, we hit about $37,200 in catering sales this week. we'll see a big decline this current week in catering. We just have one pickup tomorrow for food gatherers, which is $920. So obviously a big difference in catering sales for this week. And again, like Lisa said, I really appreciate everyone's hard work this past weekend at the weddings. Of course, everyone's short-staffed, and we were as well, but everyone really pulled together, especially the people from other Zingerman's businesses who are willing to help and jump in at full capacity. So it was really amazing to work with new people and just see everyone's willingness. And yeah, that's really all I have for right now. Thanks, Zach.
Sweet. Thank you so much. Ari with a question or comment.
Awesome work, Elaine. I was just wondering if you could give us a forecast quickly of what's coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. So this, like I said, this week, all we have is a food gatherers pickup tomorrow. And then the following week, we have a wedding on August 7th, which is a fairly big wedding, plated again. We'll see a lot of plated this season just because of the COVID. A lot of people, when they were booking their weddings, thought that would be safer, not as many shared plates between people. So I know in years past, we haven't done as many plated events, but it's definitely a trend this year. And then we have really a wedding every weekend in August. So another big forecast number probably coming up. I'll have numbers for next week with those on it. But yeah, one on the 7th, the 19th, the 20th, not the 19th, the 21st, and then another one at the end of August. So yeah.
Is it safe to say next week then it's just 900 because it's the only catering event you have?
Correct.
For this week? Okay, I'll put that in for you.
Thanks.
Cool. All right. Sounds great. Thanks, everybody. Great conversation. Nice to have two old school 2019 feeling lines back on the DOR board in their proper place. It feels really nice. It almost feels like normal again. It's really cool. Sharon, quick comment before we move on.
Is that $37,000? Should that be negative or?
No, that's the sign for approximate. Yeah.
Oh, I can't see it. It's tiny on my screen. Sorry.
Yep. No, yeah, negative. We paid people to cater them. All right. Let's Felipe is ready in the wings. Thanks, Sharon, for a good question and a clarification. Bounce it over to Felipe with dining room covers and check averages.
All right. So dining room covers and check averages last week. Cover counts underperformed last week, which is weird because it didn't necessarily feel that way. But breakfast came in soft 384 on a forecast of 400. Lunch also came in soft 860 on a forecast of 950. We were about 100 people shy of my forecast for dinner. Brunch is the only one that overperformed, 809 people on a forecast of 775. Check averages were also a little bit soft. Brunch only $22 on a forecast of 23. Breakfast came in shy. Lunch came in shy. However, it was balanced out somewhat by that Rory number check average at dinner, 34.84 per person on average. And so that's pretty close to 35. That's a fantastic number. I know that we saw quite a few oysters going out during the course of the week, and that definitely helped push that number up a little bit. And we have been starting to play in this realm for the last little bit of time. Last week's 34. The week before that was 33.90, and it was just climbing from them. So I'm expecting. I had thought maybe 35 was something that we might reach by the middle of next fiscal year, but it might come up sooner now. So that's really cool. Looking forward, we've got summer. We're rolling into August, which can bring some interesting times. I know I've seen some plumbers and pipe fitters. Did they do their convention during this past week, or is it coming up still? I'm not sure. Anyone know?
From the recon that Aya gave to us, she said it is this week.
Okay.
Unofficially.
Okay, so this week, if it is going on and it's not virtual, although I'm not sure about that, we could see, we do have a little upside there, I think. But my understanding was that it might be a virtual event. So if it is
It is my understanding that it is virtual, but they're still coming to Ann Arbor. Like they're trying to bring it back to 2019 and try to like meet together and still like just meet with computers is from my understanding. That's why it's unofficial. They don't want people to meet, but they're all just going to casually somehow all appear in a restaurant together. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Okay. So I'm looking for a little upside on my numbers going. I'm going to leave my forecast where it's at, but I'm expecting maybe a little bit of upside.
It's a complete wild card. So
those people have to come out and eat somewhere. So hopefully they'll come see us. That's what I got. I don't know about the cheap beer part, especially Coors Light. I know. I think Coors Light is run by O&W, is distributed by O&W, and that's been kind of a problem issue for the last several months, getting just about anything from them. So we'll have more to come on that.
Heard that. Thank you so much, Felipe. Appreciate the reporting. Any questions for Felipe before we move into the labor cost lines? All right. Thank you so much. Let's bounce it over back to Lisa with the front of house version of a labor cost.
Excellent. Really nice dinner check average. That's awesome. Nice work, y'all. So numbers look a bit higher. Like I said, I did not include the weddings in the numbers that I forecasted here, so it is much larger than that forecasted number. But it's mostly okay. Again, there was lots of folks working the events, and then folks that we had to bring in even from other businesses, like I said, which was very, very helpful. And kudos to Leah and Paul for getting them in the system and still getting them in the system right now. Apologies on that. We'll do better next time. Sorry, Leah. So yeah, number is looking a bit higher. There's still some training going on in the building and cross training, and there's going to be more folks coming in that I'm hiring. We still have pretty much all positions posted right now. Some folks are going to be, actually quite a few folks are going to be going back to school, and school's not in Ann Arbor. So we will be losing, I don't know, probably up to 8 people, I would think, in different departments. So we are still absolutely hiring. We needed folks anyway, so we're just going to keep those postings up. I do have a host and somebody else that I'm hiring today. So two more folks coming in and applications. It's nothing crazy, but they are like kind of slowly trickling in, which is good and better than 0 coming in. So hopefully folks continue to apply and we can continue to bring folks on board because we need them. That's what I have.
Excellent. Thank you, Lisa. Any comments or questions for Lisa? I see Ari has one or several.
Sorry, that was my pocket.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
My pocket had a question. But
hello, I'm a person. I have a question.
Hello, hi.
So I'm curious if we're in pretty dire need of bussers compared to other departments, just as far as like what I'm personally aware of and like what I've been discussing with other departments. Are we doing anything like special as we're hiring bussers, or is there any like extra advertising that we're doing at all? Just something I'm curious about.
No, I mean, we desperately need every position in the restaurant, to be honest. We are talking about, and not just with busing, but across the board, just because we need staff. Different things that we can do. It's one of our goals that we have for ZAP objectives. Marcy helping with the marketing aspect, posting in places we're not used to posting. Ari and I talked briefly about, which we've done in the past, but like using a headhunter, like if we need to for some of like the manager positions. So we haven't done that yet, but we probably will need to just because there's not enough applications coming in. But no, at this point, there isn't anything like specific to the bussers, you know what I mean, to that position. We just need all people.
No, totally makes sense. Thank you so much for answering that comprehensively, Lisa.
Yeah, and to also give a little fun background to boost your confidence, boost your morale up, we do have one Austin who started training yesterday, and he wants a full 4 to 5 shifts a week. So he is going to cover a lot of traction for us, a lot of ground for us.
Super cool. Our current bussers are also holding it down really beautifully. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Hesna. Great question. I love to hear it. Marcy.
Thanks, Zach. I did talk to marketing yesterday, and they said that Paul Swaney, who is our hiring person in D4P, is going to be doing some posting on the community site. And so I'm hoping once he gets that up, that I can hyperlink to that to our website so that we can have it like front and center on our front page and also on social media.
Excellent.
I'm sure
Thank
Paul
you.
has some hiring language that I'm not as privy to that would be super helpful.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Ari, with the last comment before we move to Bob's half of the line.
Just a question. This is a great conversation. Mars, at some point, how are we doing with reaching out to Black churches to try to get into their postings, just to build in the community?
Good question. I've reached out to a couple and haven't heard back yet, but I'll try more.
Okay, yeah, I would just keep asking. I mean, oftentimes there's like no one who really does that for a living. You're talking to volunteers, so they may not be quick to respond.
Right. There might not be a specific admin person.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And Lisa, did you have a closing comment? Yeah, you were muted.
Thanks. I did. So, yes, very quickly, I remembered who I am hiring. The other person is a PM cleaner because we are in desperate need of having the restaurant clean 7 nights a week, and that has not been happening. Apologies on that. But yes, Ian Zimmerman is getting hired today at 4, and then he will start training, I think, tonight with Jordan. So we will have another PM cleaner back in the building, which is extremely exciting. So thanks, everyone.
We do need to move on. Beth, I see you had a question. Is it one of those like you really need to ask it, or like I just know we're double time on this line? And you're muted, Beth.
Just a suggestion.
Yeah. Beth, I don't think your connection's very good.
Never mind.
Yeah, sorry. I want to hear what you have to say. I just can't hear you. I'm sorry. If you want to type it, maybe that could help depending on how long it is. All right, let's bounce it over to the back of house version of this line. Back of house labor with Bob. Hello, Bob.
Hey, y'all. Good morning. So we came in at 22,277, forecast 21. It's actually better than I thought it was going to be. I thought we're going to be with the 2 weddings and a lot of call-offs. I thought we were going to be like in the 24s, but so I mean, I feel good about that. I mean, there's still a lot of late overtime out there in the back of the house. I mean, I'm sure everywhere, but we're at like we're 125 hours last week. The staffing is a little bit tough all around, with the back house not being any exceptions. But like we have a call off every day, which is the story of the restaurant right now. So, I mean, we're hiring. We're trying to get some more support back there. Having 2 weddings in a weekend does put a lot of stress on us. So, but I'm excited on how we did and how everyone performed. We have a new occasional event staff member in the back of the house. His name is Jeff Fleckenstein. You'll only see him maybe if you come in like at noon before a wedding. That's the only time he'll actually probably be in house. But it's exciting to have that extra hand because generally like our situation was always just to pull from staff that we already had, which does leave the restaurant short, or we just go with short staff to weddings. So it's definitely a cool option to have, and he's a good guy and brings good energy. So he checks a lot of the boxes for us. But hopefully, looking at like 21 as we go forward, we're still kind of in vacation time. So we got Malcolm kind of started his vacation on Thursday. Brandon's also out for the weekend. So covering some of those as the summer wraps up. But it is what it is right now. Hopefully we got a couple trial shifts coming up in the kitchen. We still got postings up, so hopefully we see some turning around of this. But we'll see.
Awesome. Thanks, Bob. Any questions for Bob for the labor cost line? Not seeing any. Thank you for sharing, Bob. Appreciate the info and context. Let's bounce it back to food costs. So I don't. You're not off the hook yet. Back over to let's go to food costs.
I'm still here. So food costs. We're doing inventory this coming up weekend, which is exciting. We'll see how it goes. Generally, as our catering and events, and especially weddings, numbers kind of pick up, it definitely improves our food cost. Because basically you cost the wedding out to a certain amount. Sometimes they have less, and sometimes we're able to utilize those leftovers for things, which has definitely been the case on some of the weddings, which has been good. So we're excited to see that. I'm excited that we kicked off and went live with the BLC on the Blue Plate burger change, and then also regular burger pricing. That happened on Monday. We'll continue. So if you haven't checked out the BLC, I know Lisa resent it out late last week. So definitely check it out. I'm sure it's also in the pre-ship binders. You could check it out there too. So that's exciting. That's definitely going to have some effect, not on obviously this coming up inventory, but inventories to come. One thing we're seeing, just a couple price hikes to be aware of. We're seeing that broadbent sausage has gone up another, not a whole lot, 16 cents. So I'm going to kind of crunch some numbers, see if we need to raise the price on that. A more kind of disturbing one is and hopefully it's a one-off, but we saw ribs go up by $1 per pound. Talking for us, so it's wonky how they do ribs because it is a frozen product, so they buy big lots of it. Sometimes when they reach the end of the lot and they haven't re-upped their stock, we'll have to buy at kind of current pricing. So that's where we see these big hikes. So I'm told that it's going to come back down, but if it doesn't, we'll be looking at kind of next steps with that on an already kind of expensive product on what that looks like. But yeah, I mean that's it. I mean it's tough when we're short-staffed to kind of utilize all the food in our product in our walk-in. So we're working hard on that to making sure we're not building a lot of waste. But we're seeing kind of like the freezer build up, just things we can't get on the menu or don't have a lot of time to put in production. So that'll affect food costs in some way or another, but I feel pretty good about it.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob. Like the quite in-depth analysis. Appreciated greatly. Let's throw it over to Ari for a question.
Thanks, Bob. Great update. How are we, I should know, but with the Blue Plate burger change?
So Ari, it went live on Monday.
Okay, that's yesterday, I guess, right? Yeah.
It is yesterday. It feels like a long time ago, but just yesterday it went live. So all the pricing is in there. We'll see for the rest of the week, the burger pricing, that jump up is on there. So okay. It seemed to go pretty good last night. I didn't hear a whole lot from the floor, but
yeah, I didn't hear a word. Zach, did you hear anything?
I asked all my servers, and they all said most people were just like, "Oh, I didn't need the salad anyways," like we all assumed. So,
well, that's awesome.
And those who wanted it was just $1, and most people were like, "Yeah, it's $1. I want a salad, whatever. It's a great deal." Like they almost see our change as a great deal in a way. So,
Lisa, and Felipe, let's get on the other price. Looking at the other prices that we need to raise to quicker, because every week we go, it's money that we're not bringing in to help pay the appropriate cost of increased labor.
Cool. Awesome. Great conversation, y'all. Really appreciate it. Any burning questions before we bounce it to Code Red and Code Greens? Sweet. Awesome. Thanks for the great conversation. Let's keep it going. Let's go over to Jess with Code Reds and Code Greens. Good morning, Jess.
Good morning, everybody. So keeping it to the top three, I just want to mention that we did have some chicken, both chicken baskets and fried chicken sandwiches go out a little overdone, and some burgers go out a little underdone. But the two I actually really want to talk about are on the 25th, we had a ramekin of berries to go that were shriveled and had a dead caterpillar in them. So please look and clean your food, people. And also on the 24th, and I'm hoping that you can provide a little bit more details for this one, Zach, since you fielded this call, but a guest and his son had some gastrointestinal discomfort after dining here for breakfast.
Oh, they were incredibly polite, and they even said, I know you guys do your best and you work with fresh ingredients, and sometimes this kind of thing pops up now and then. They really were just like, I asked if they wanted a refund. I gave them the refund. They didn't even ask, and they didn't even ask for it. They just almost wanted to let us know. Like, it was like the most polite people with this situation you could imagine. So,
do you know what they had?
I believe they had eggs.
Okay.
I think it was like an American breakfast.
Okay, and then just a couple requests for thicker bacon, grilled grits, more vegetarian options, and reducing some of the curbside pickup spots. I think we're currently at 25, or at least that's what the code said.
Heard that.
Okay.
All right, I think Monica's hand was first.
Just really quickly with the blueberries, I think I forgot to put it in notes last night, but if anybody's in the restaurant and can make sure we're using the fresh blueberries that should have come in this morning as opposed to using the ones that came from the freezer, that is what that code with the shriveled blueberries specifically had to do with. We've been serving blueberries that came out of the freezer as opposed to fresh on our fruit plates, and I keep trying to get us to stop doing that, but it hasn't quite taken hold yet.
Yeah, it
Sounds
really
like a great thing.
Sorry.
Sounds like a great thing to bring up at tomorrow's backup house huddle.
Oh,
absolutely.
What time is that tomorrow?
It's 2 p.m.
2 p.m. There's a back of house huddle at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Oh wow! Who can come?
Anybody can come, Zach.
Wow, that sounds great. Oh wait, there's a bunch of people I'm talking to too. Hi guys, if you want to go to the back of house huddle tomorrow at 2 p.m., they'd love to have you. Sorry.
You guys are awesome. On the vegetarian one, I did have the thought of double listing the warm spinach salad in the large size under the vegetarian entrees, since it is one and we have it and it's no more work.
Monica.
The other thing I was thinking, which we talked about at one point, I don't remember the result, is the mac and 3.
Oh, I was just about to say that.
Well, the listing, yeah, I'm with you on both, Monica. The Mac and 3 is also a production issue, so I'll let Bob chime in. I mean, the listing is just a dining room manager putting it twice and trying it out. If it doesn't do anything, then whatever. Is anybody game for trying the experiment?
No, I think we can do both. Listing them twice. I think the Mac and 3 could make a comeback too. I think this one was actually more specific to brunch and lunch menus where we don't even, and they would be kind of looking at the menu. We don't really even have a vegetarian section, so I think that might be a start to it, and then building off of there. But those are probably our weakest areas for vegetarian options, or at least stated or obvious vegetarian options. So I think that's where the work is on that one.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Let's bounce it to. Oh, Monica has a hand. You still have a hand, or did I forget to put it down, Monica? I'm gonna trust. Ooh. I'm gonna trust that her hand.
I didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
That is okay.
I meant to mute myself.
It is okay. We're gonna bounce it to code greens.
So we had 128 code greens. Noteworthy 27 of them were from surveys. So doing pretty good on those. Big hitters this week were burgers, oysters, fried chicken, ribs, the donut sundaes, and scallops. And our special shouts out to Stephanie, Nathan, Rachel, Greg, and Lauren.
Awesome. That is great to hear. Thank you for your in-depth and studious reporting as always, Jess. Really appreciate it. Let's go to ZXI. Is there a Joey Quick in the house? There is. Hello, Joey. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, ZXI. So this week we had a 92 from 22 surveys. Code Greens included to-go service, drink menu on QR code, fried chicken, and just great service in general. We'll be talking with service group this Thursday on how to, encourage the expansion of survey card use. Before it was a bit more seamless because of the check cups. Now it kind of requires a little more effort. So hopefully we'll get these numbers higher.
Awesome. Your forecast says 90 out of 100 surveys. Do you want to keep that forecast there, considering what you're pulling in right now?
I'll adjust it.
Thank you. That's all good. Thanks, man. It's also not too early to start getting your forecast for the following month too, if you haven't already. Just figured to throw that little tidbit out there. August will be here before you know it. Thank you, Joey. Any questions for Joey before we move on? All right. It looks like we got a guest host for the gym show today. His name is Neil. He is excited and ready to go, and we're happy to have him. Hello, Neil.
Morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. So I don't have much to report on the cash position until Jim gets back in, but given the strong sales we've been seeing, that's going to lead to an excellent month for us, and we've bumped up our NOP forecast to a positive 65K. So, woohoo! Couple other quick hits. August 1st ends the fiscal year for Zingerman's. So this is a great opportunity where we want to try to tidy up. It's going to be a normal month end for us, but it's going to be particularly important for us to tidy up any pending receipts that people need reimbursed or invoices that people are sitting on. So if that rings a bell for any of you, please get those into us. We'll make sure we get those accounted for in this year. And then, as Bob already mentioned, inventory is August 1st, so that is also coming up.
Awesome. Hasna appreciates it. I appreciate Hasna for appreciating it, and I also appreciate you, Neil. Thank you for for standing in for Jim valiantly. Any comments or questions you may have for Neil? Looks like we have a Bob.
Maybe more of a general one, but back in the old days when we had an actual physical DOR board, we always had the year end on it. So I was wondering, and Neil, this might be more of a Jim question, is once we get those numbers together, if we'll have some sort of presentation of those numbers, just because it's good to see how the little pieces build up to the big pieces and what that looks like.
Definitely. I can check in with Jim on that and then get back to you on that question, and get back to everyone for that matter. Yes.
Cool. Thank you, Neil.
My pleasure.
Awesome. That's a great suggestion and reminder, Bob. Thank you. All right, let's bounce it over to Jillian with top 10, bottom 10.
All right. Hi. Sorry, still poking around in the numbers here. But yeah, we had kind of an interesting week. Breakfast actually flip-flopped a little bit. We had the bacon skillet was '1 for the first time since I think I've been doing this, over corned beef hash, which is kind of surprising. Oysters, I know we've been had a kind of a limited supply. I think we were out a couple times last week too. They were down about 36% for dinner. But on the other hand, we had ribs and fried chicken were up like almost a full percent. Lot more of those. The barbecue plate is selling insane. It outsold the kale salad, which is the first time I've ever seen that. So that's what, chef's talking about the ribs going up. So that could affect some things potentially going forward. But so far, the rib price increase doesn't seem to have deterred people, and the fried chicken as well. They're just kind of like incrementally going up each week. Cashew brittle salad, still a huge favorite. I recommended it to a couple guests, and they absolutely loved it. Threw some pork on top. It's a great, great dish, even if, for the guys, they really like it. Desserts were up about 12%. We're talking about the check average. So that was cool to see. The gelatos still selling really well. We didn't have butterscotch pudding, I know, for a couple days, but the brownie sundae kind of took the lead on that. So, it's probably not as good of a food cost for that one, but we still increase in in dessert sales, which is cool. Donut Sundays selling a lot better now since we're doing more in-house. And then the Tres Piñas cocktail that we were talking about earlier actually outsold the Margarita Royale. It was #2, and it's only been available for like the last, 4 or 5 days. But yeah, the only one that outsold it was Sangria, which we had available for the whole week. So that was really cool to see. I made a ton of them yesterday. But yeah, that's about all I have. Yeah, beet salad. I know we've had on pretty infrequently, and the bruschetta, it was kind of the same. So those are a little bit lower numbers, but I think that's why. Just not as on the menu as often.
Cool. All right. Well, great. That's a great report. Thank you very much. I love my favorite part is actually the big your takeaways at the bottom of the numbers. It's nice to see where your brain is, because sometimes my brain goes in different directions. So
Right.
yeah, and again, and verbally as well. Bravo, Felipe, for creating an awesome drink the guests they want to get their hands on.
Yes, they love it.
All right. Any questions for Jillian and for this little chart she makes? In the participant window. I don't see any. Fantastic. Well, then let's go back over the DOR board. Thank you, Jillian. And let's go to maintenance with Andrew Nash. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, everybody. Am I coming through fine?
Oh, yeah.
Good. I always get worried on my phone.
That's fair.
All right. First things first, I've been chasing around Ecolab since I got here. And they showed up yesterday when I was out getting parts, and I came back and they had already left. But I did get a hold of them. And the question has always been, why are they showing up? Are we under a contract of some kind of maintenance with them or whatever? Well, finally, I got an answer that they're just showing up sort of to see if we need anything that they sell. It's not a maintenance contract. There's no charge for it.
So soliciting.
They're
Nice.
just showing up, perusing, seeing if they can sell us some filters or whatever. So I'm on top of all of it. I've told them that. So I think they're probably still going to be persistent, but there's no cost involved. So I'm kind of fine leaving it where it's at as long as they're not in our way. One thing they are able to do is they can also give us an estimate on the reverse osmosis system. So I've asked them to do that just to compare with the one that we have. I kind of want to stick with American Aqua because their service is so good, but it never hurts to have another number to look at. Another thing, they came out and looked at the curtains last week. They're ordering parts for that. So that's in process. That should be looking good any day now. And good news on the slow boat from China front. The parts for the warmer have shipped. I got the email yesterday, so it should be here anytime for the plate warmer, that's been down for about, 2 weeks now. So that is about to be fixed.
Awesome. Well, it's a lot of great news. Thank you for being on top of stuff. Any questions we have for Andrew? All right, not seeing any. Let's bounce it to Felipe to wrap up our DOR board with some training news.
Some trading news. Okay, I am going to focus on 1.5 topics this time. We launched our basic second round of basic food safety blitz. For a refresher for those of you, we send out a video that was made by Laura Wunsch, as well as a Google Forms test to a group of people who have been working here for about 30 days. The idea being that they get 2 weeks to watch the video and take the test and pass it, and then they will be in compliance with our expectation that everybody takes it within 60 days. So we had a slew of people take it, sent out to 10 people. One person is using their ServSafe certification to just take the test, and if they can pass the test, they can take the class. And I've had 3 others take the class, which means we still have a little over 6 people who have not complied with our request on that. And we are also running into the situation that we've got another slew of people coming up who've been here now about 30 days, and it's time for them to start taking the test. This has been the best scenario that I can think of to get basic food safety done, since nobody is teaching classes right now and nobody has taught in person or virtually basic food safety, as far as I'm aware, in months and months. So if basically anyone who has been hired since mid-June, we need to start talking to them and getting them to watch this video and take this test, because it's the only methodology that we have for this information. And I see comments or questions from Jess and then Ari. Jess?
So yeah, I've talked to kind of my people I'm shepherding in the back, and it is very much on the forefront of their mind to take this test. And as Sharon already put in the chat, Gabe should be taking his last class today. He was reminded about it last night, and I made sure that he RSVP'd and got a response for everything he needs.
Well, that's great news. Thank you for that, Jess. I'm glad to hear that. Ari?
Felipe, should I be putting some GNP, that's gentle, never ending pressure, on the training engineers to try to get more teachers for that class, or this is just what we're intentionally doing?
That's a great question, Ari. I think it's definitely fallen off the forefront of the training engineers with a lot of the other stuff that we've got going on. Right now, I only know of a couple of teachers, and one of them, who's an in-house teacher, is dealing with the arrival of a second young lady and little baby in his house. So I can understand that this is a challenge, but overall, basic food safety has been a class with very few teachers, and we could definitely use more. And I actually don't know what kind of path we are to in-person or teaching, or even just getting that class offered virtually more often. It seems that maybe the class owner or those teachers that are associated with the decision making have decided that the video is good for now, which isn't the best answer, but it's what we have right now. So I'm trying to get people to work on it. But a little GNP wouldn't be a bad idea on multiple fronts.
Okay, who's running the committee these days? I can't remember.
Timo's our chair.
Okay, I'll call him. Thank you.
Yeah. Hasna?
Hello, thank you for answering really quick. I know we're running low on time, but I don't know about other trainees, but just like for me personally, I have like a lot going on outside of work, and I was wondering like, do we or like are we gonna get more opportunities to be able to like DIY the class the way we were given the opportunity to with food safety, just in case like we're not able to make it up within the time allotted to us?
Great question, Hasna. So right now, there's a little, it hasn't been formally communicated, but there's a little bit of a grace period going on right now to go ahead and get that done. That's always one of the big challenges with training throughout Zingerman's community of businesses, is that because it's largely self-directed, it does require the trainee to figure out what their balance is vis-a-vis work time, personal time, other obligations, and getting this training done. So one reason I'm very glad to have this video and this online test is so that you can find the time that works best for you, so that you can sit down and take it. And as always, for things like this, if you're having challenges or troubles meeting the expectations, please come to talk to one of the managers, let them know what's going on, and strike a understanding so that you can go ahead and we can reset and revisit those expectations if it's a scheduling challenge for you. So that's what I would counsel.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Felipe. Is it okay if I email you to follow up?
Certainly, please do.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna run out to a meeting now. Thank you all for being here today.
Bye.
Okay, so that's what I have for this. We do it, like I said, we have more people coming up to take this that need to get through this material. So we're going to need to double down back of house and front of house. The last thing I'll mention real quick is that it reached my ears that at the managers meeting, there was a decision about going forward with generating some road guides. And someone was going to be meeting with me, but that hasn't happened. So this is my constant gentle pressure, never ending pressure to please, whoever was tasked with that task, to let's get in touch in the next few days and see what we can do going forward.
Awesome.
Thank you for that, Sharon. I'll follow up on that.
Thank you. All right. Yep. Hopefully, I forget who it was too, Felipe. Hopefully, we'll have that follow up there. Yes. Is there any burning questions for Felipe as we need to move on to a quick hit, or depending on what Ari would like to do with the discussion topic, we can quick hit that. Ari, you're muted. I'm sorry.
I'm muted. Yes. The story of our lives. I am facilitating a ZAP meeting at 11, so I'm going to jump off.
Sure.
And then maybe while I'm already talking, I can just announce that I'm teaching servant leadership tomorrow. It's on the calendar, I think 12 to 2 or something like that. Everybody's welcome, even if you've come before, it doesn't hurt. If you're new, great. You don't need to be in a formal leadership role to come. And then I have Welcome to ZCOB on Friday. Everybody's welcome for that too. We do have some new people, so if y'all can reach out to them. Bob, I know there's a few in the kitchen, and Lisa, obviously many in the dining room, and Zach. So thank you. And then in 5 Things tomorrow, it mentions the Kentucky Rose. It mentions Sean Eskinosi's chocolate. And then the main piece is about positive beliefs. So Zach, maybe we can use that if people are interested to do some reading in advance of next week's huddle and see if that can prompt the conversation.
Sounds like fun.
And then I just want to, I'll jump out of the way. I want to really, really appreciate everybody. There's a lot of business and a lot of hard work by a lot of people. Really appreciate Elaine and also Malik for stepping up on the front of the house, and they're brand new to this in the ZCOB world, not to it in the bigger world. And Bob and everybody in the kitchen for putting out all that great food, and then everybody else for holding it down in house while they were doing that. It's really, really awesome. I know this is a challenging time for our entire industry, and we are not alone. If you didn't understand this, this is going on actually far worse in many other places. So thank you. And then the last thing, last thing is just a request. I know that inevitably I and everyone have concerns, like it's the normal state of human existence for anybody who's paying attention and cares. I just want to try to encourage folks, you to encourage folks who aren't here, that this is where we want to discuss those things. So I know if it's interpersonal, it may be awkward, but beyond that, this is the place to come. And this is why we have the huddle. And if they can't make it in person, send a proxy. But this is where it's at. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you for all you do. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ari. Have fun with your other thing. All right. Well, I guess on that note, let's just jump into a very quick task review. Terrelyn, Terrelyn's not here. That's right. A task review will probably be available next week because Terrelyn is not able to make it. She's going to watch the video that I make from this, and she's going to send out notes after. So let's skip a task review to go to announcements. Mercy.
Thanks, Zach. So some of you probably already know in 1982, the deli opened. And so that means we are coming up on our 40th anniversary for Zingerman's next year. And we have formed a committee to start planning what we're going to do for that anniversary. I will be on that committee, but we are looking for frontline staff from each business who might be passionate about helping out. So if you're interested, please contact me. You'll be involved with the planning and the execution of our 40th birthday for Zingerman's, which would be super awesome. I remember when we did our 35th, Zach actually helped out at the street fair. It was super fun. I don't think we're having a street fair for obvious reasons, but that doesn't mean we don't have other really, really fun festivities in the works. So let me know if you're interested.
Cool. All right, Lisa.
Bob and I are teaching, Sharon, I think our classes are going to kind of conflict, but Bob and I are teaching Welcome to the Roadhouse in person on Wednesday, August 4th from 4 to 6. And I know lots of folks need that class, so spread the word. Also, just want to, I think we talked about it already, maybe in some previous huddles, but move-in is not that far away, and there's going to be a lot of people in town and a lot of folks wanting to come out and dine, people that have been to our restaurant and people that haven't been to our restaurant before. That is August 25th through August 29th. So just to be prepared for some good business coming our way. Also, we do have a front of the house leader out almost every week in August. We tried to stagger things just because we are light on staff still. But just know that August is going to be very busy, like we talked about with events. just trying to get more staff in the building, and that we are going to be covering for each other with folks out on vacations and Zach moving, which is exciting. So lots going on.
Fun times. Can't wait to move my whole apartment for the first time in 3 years. It's gonna be great. Nah, it's all sarcasm. 100% not gonna be fun. Friday. Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, Friday is the Peach Truck. And the Peach guys, I did make a reservation in advance. They're all going to be dining in as soon as the Peach Truck is over for them. So there's a heads up. All right. And then appreciations. Marcy.
Thanks, Zach. I just wanted to appreciate all the people who were working on Saturday for brunch while I was there. I know it was with the weddings and everything, we're running a little bit more bare bones, but everybody who is working that day really stepped up to the plate. And in particular, I just wanted to mention Alan and Andrew because, it was 2 bussers on during brunch, and the entire restaurant to maintain. It can be challenging, but these guys really stepped up to the plate. I just kind of felt like every time I thought of something that might need to be done, they're already on top of it, and so it's pretty amazing. So kudos to them as well as everybody else who is there. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Lisa?
Sorry, did you say my name?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. I would like to, I mentioned it earlier, but I also want to appreciate, like I said, Elaine, Bob, Shane, Malik, tons of people that worked the events, and folks that stayed in the restaurant to also work there. It's busy, which is fantastic, but kudos to everybody, and appreciate because there's lots more coming up, which is great. I appreciate Felipe for all he does around the Roadhouse, but he did some fantastic training, and has been with Miles. If you guys haven't met Miles, he's our new bartender. But Felipe, you're extremely thorough, and you just want to make sure that everyone gets trained properly and is knowledgeable and is giving the best service that they can, and I just really, really appreciate you for that. I want to appreciate everyone in the Roadshow and the to-go area. We know that area's, kind of funky. It ebbs and flows. Sometimes the weather's good, sometimes it's not. I just appreciate everyone for going with the flow and for staying flexible. And then we've also had lots of, just like in the other areas of the restaurant, call-offs on certain days. We're running short, and so there's, as you all know, there's a lot happening, and sometimes there's not a lot happening. So I just appreciate everyone for keeping positive energy over there. Marcy, thank you so much for working the floor, like you just mentioned on Saturday. That was very, very helpful. And it's nice to see you in the restaurant and in your cute little shoes, managing again. That was very nice. Thank you. That's what I have.
All right. Any others? Got Amanda T. T there. I'll attempt to buy some time with mine. I appreciate 2 people in particular, Alan and David. They have single-handedly saved me and Lisa from coming in this last Sunday, picking up busing shifts left and right. Alan, I think Ari actually was there as a witness as I was sitting there settling into my Monday shift. Alan walked over to me and said, "Hey, I really love working here, and if you need to pick up more shifts, I'll take them, whatever you got." I'm like, I almost was like, can I just hug you right now? Like, what? So that's the kind of attitude we've kind of all been kind of looking for, because people are getting burnt out left and right. So seeing people like that ready to rise to the occasion, not saying everybody's not doing this at all, but seeing somebody as young as him, this is his first job, wanting to come in and be like, yo, I want as many shifts as possible. I'm like, well, you're going to get as many shifts as possible. So it was just really nice to see somebody ready to step up and at such a young age and not really ever having a job until now, and wanting to work hard. And Alan's getting better every day, like Marcy was mentioning. So really nice to see that kind of growth. And I bought as much time as I can for Amanda T. I do not see that she has an appreciation. Any burn-ins before we end today's huddle? All right. Well, I appreciate having you all here. It's been a great huddle. Got a lot of great discussion topics. We kept on time as much as we could, and we ended, I think, in a pretty good pace, dependent specifically knowing how much we had to talk about. So have a great rest of your week. We'll see you in August when we start up the huddle then again. And enjoy yourself. Have a great night. Thank you.